Okay, so I'm very happy to be with all of you this afternoon. Before I start, I want to tell you that this is not my regular voice. I am overcoming a terrible cold. So in case I have to leave the stage due to a cough attack, please forgive me. I apologize in advance. But today, I am here to talk about Laboratoria and our story of learnings that led us to become one globally recognized social startup. I don't know where I need to point this. Over there? Okay, there it is. So for those of you who haven't heard of us, our purpose is to have a more diverse, inclusive, and competitive digital economy that in Latin America that really can create opportunities for all, for everyone. And to do so, we have two lines of action. The first one is Laboratoria for Women, where we identify and train women from underserved backgrounds who have the potential to make a career in tech, but who didn't have the opportunities, educational, nor job or formal work opportunities to unleash this talent. So we train them in a 6-month immersive bootcamp where they get to learn and become front-end developers, front-end web developers, and user experience designers. And after completion of this 6-month bootcamp, we connect them with companies that are in need of their talent, where they get to triple their income and launch a life-changing career. And on the other hand, we have Laboratoria for Business, which is where we try to be this talent partner to really help companies in their digital transformation process, not only by providing them the diverse tech talent they need to build their digital products, but also with a corporate training program to help them develop the culture and the mindset they need to thrive in the digital era. And so far, these been our results. We've trained more than 1,300 women graduates from our bootcamp. We have an 80% placement rate since 2018. And we've placed our graduates in more than 450 companies where they get to triple their income. And we have also worked and trained more than 6,000 corporate students from more than 50 companies that are from more than 15 diverse sectors. But today, I want to tell you a little bit about like I said, our story of learnings. And back in 2013, we were in Laboratoria. Before, we were actually AYU, a web agency that struggled to find the diverse tech talent they need, especially women. So when we had AYU, we discovered two opportunities that really gave life to Laboratoria. The first one is that the tech industry needs a lot of talent, and especially it needs female tech talent. And the second one is that it's an industry where it's not necessarily required to have a degree, because the best professionals are self-taught. So with these two opportunities, we started Laboratoria. And Laboratoria was born with this bold mission to give thousands of Latin American women from underserved background a career in tech. And with the bold dream to actually transform the tech sector to become this place where women could thrive and where they could unleash their talent. But it was actually while placing our graduates and working closely with companies to give them a career in tech that we found our second discovered. And it turned out that many of the companies, of the hiring companies, were going through a digital transformation process. And they were actually investing in building digital platforms or maybe implementing methodologies like agile, like design thinking, but they weren't actually thinking on the culture and the mindset they needed to thrive in the digital era. And so we started in 2017 with our second line of work, Laboratoria for Business, to be this talent partner that companies need that is focused on discovering these hidden talents and developing the mindset and culture they need to win in the digital era. Because at the end of the day, our secret sauce, which is this culture of learning and continuous improvement, which is the one all the people that work in Laboratoria have, our students and graduates have, and our allied companies also have, is what we really, at the end of the day, we want to create is an ecosystem based in the talent of people and with the diversity that it needs to thrive in the digital era. So to do this, we feel that we really need a learning revolution. And I want to start by showing this picture that I think it sadly reflects very well what is going on in Latin America. We have a lot of people and a lot of businesses that are doing their business as usual without noticing that there is a huge wave that is behind them that could really sink them or crush them, but that they could also serve to get advantage of all the opportunities it brings. We dream with a Latin America that depends every time less on its natural resources and every time more on the talent of their people. And for that, we need a different kind of education. And this past image that I showed, it was how someone many years ago thought education would look like in the future. And the education we have right now, it's not preparing us to really develop the skills we need in the future, the skills we as humans, the skills that set us apart from the machines. And this is some data that the World Economic Forum indicates about what would be these most demanded skills in 2020. But if we look at the abilities that computers have and compares to those that we are trying to develop with a traditional education system, we will see that, of course, if we look at computers, they are good at specialized work, repetitive and predictable work, at processing data, at only following commands, and that they don't really need to rest. And if we look what the educational system is trying to create in us, is that they are teaching us to specialize in one thing, to do repetitive exercises, to memorize data, to follow commands, and to compete. However, if we look at what the human brain is good at, we'll see a totally different story. And it's that we are good at crossing information. We can handle uncertainty. We need emotions to learn, and we can be able to develop critical thinking. And we don't want to compete, but we can complement each other. So in Laboratoria, we came up with this education revolution where we try to stop thinking of the teacher as the center of the learning process and start thinking of the student as an active individual who is in charge of learning, who can self-learn. And to do so, we brought the agile values of the agile software developing methodology to our classroom. And we changed radically what it was expected in a traditional educational system. So we focus on autonomy over control, in feedback over grades, in teamwork over competition, in failure as the way of learning, and in doing constant retrospectives to really get to improve. Because the learning process, we feel it looks more or less like this. It's not linear at all. And this is not only the process to learn something new, but actually to create anything new and to innovate. And this leads us to see that we don't only have an education system problem, but we also have a problem in the work environment as well. In Laboratoria, we want to stop talking about digital transformation, which is what everyone is talking about right now. And we want to start talking about transformation in the digital era, because this little change makes to focus on digital as the context and not as the end of what we're trying to make. Because transformation is within people. So it's people that needs to be transformed. It's not that digital is going to bring us more and better things, because digital is just the context that we're living in nowadays. Tomorrow it might be artificial intelligence or whoever knows whatever happened in 50 or 100 years. But the people is going to be the same, and we need to be focused on developing these skills that are going to set us apart from the machines. So we think that reskilling shouldn't start with specific abilities, but more with a new mindset for innovation and the ability to adapt to uncertainty, to be a lifelong learner, to be open to new ideas, to experiment, to fail, and to focus on teamwork and collaboration. Because if we compete, we are not going to thrive. And how we do this, or at least we try to do this, we try to do three things. The first one is that we feel that to innovate, we need to change or to have a learning culture. And we need to make sure that we have a fail-friendly environment at work where people can really feel free to experiment and learn. Because learning faster is the key to success in this digital era. And that's what is only going to get us to improve continuously. We also need to change the way we lead. Because many years ago, we were told that we would need to tell the people what they had to solve and how they had to solve it. But actually today we need to find this sweet spot between autonomy and alignment, where we have an openness for people to bring the problems, and together we can find a solution. And last but not least, we feel that to innovate, we need to change, or we need to look for a minimal viable bureaucracy. Because bureaucracy means that we are being 100% predictability, and if we have 100% predictability, then we have 0% innovation. If everything is under control, then it means that we are going to slow. And this thing that separates us from chaos or maximum bureaucracy is just the culture that we have at work. So, just to finish my presentation, I wanted to tell you that yes, we've accomplished a lot of things in these 5 years, but our life as entrepreneurs has been more like this. So a couple of hell yeah and more of the other stuff. These are our leading global partners, which we are really thank you for supporting Laboratoria, and thank you.